happened to the live, but it got cut off. No, certain spots in this area right here, it it's not good service area. So, but I love the area so much, mainly because of the lane I'm in, which is that lane right there. That's why I really like it over here. This is the walk down, season 3, episode 125. Yeah, guys, if you was on the live this morning, I hope you caught what he said, man. It just amazes me how both of these sides, they really, really, really don't get along. I thought the internet, YouTube streets beef was something. Man, this beef between the red and the blue, America going at each other, man, that's crazy. But you know, Donald Trump said today, that's why, man, all you people, particularly if you on welfare, Medicaid, food stamps, all these type of services, you know, because me personally, I know a lot of people in real life that is basically stuck on the services, meaning that they able to go out and do the work, but they're so used to getting those welfare services, they rather settle for that. You know, they rather settle for the housing. They rather settle for those type of things rather than go to work, rather than find something they love to do and master it. Hey, what's up, Lord? Instead of finding something they love to do and mastering it, they rather stay and get all those resources, AKA, as Trump calling them, Democrat resources. That's what he's calling them, guys. So, man, what Trump said today, a lot of these Democrat assistance, a lot of these Democratic policies are getting demolished. In other words, he is cutting them off. He said that today. Now, I've been telling everybody and their mama, been telling them, bro, I started saying at the end of 2024, bro, you already see what's coming up the tailpipe. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Start getting your situation in order. It's either people that come in this chat room saying, I had somebody come in here earlier today saying that they're on Social Security and barely making it. I hate to say it like this, but if you barely making it, you need to reevaluate your strategy. Like, I understand if you don't, like a lot of people that I know, I'm gonna just keep it real. A lot of people that I know that get Social Security, disability Social Security, can go out and work a job. I know a lot of people that get Social Security and disability and they party every damn day, guys. I'm quite sure a lot of people that coming in this chat room can agree with what I just said. We all know people, I know a lot of people that say they disabled and getting a disability check, but they're in the club, like tonight. They're gonna be at the club Thursday, Friday, ladies' night, and Sunday. They're gonna be in their favorite club tonight. They're gonna be drinking their favorite drink. They the ones that's gonna be drinking Don Julio and Jose Cuervo and Bud Lights and smoking cigarettes every day. So I'm saying that to say this. It's time for a lot of us to revive, revamp, and reprogram your mind, your way of thinking, your way of living. We have to revive and revamp and reprogram the way we think. Guys, I got family members right now that's on housing. Kids are grown. You know what I'm saying? Because of the system, it's so out of whack. She never turned in her housing, and she's still getting a 2-bedroom housing apartment, just like she had kids there. But guess what? Her kids are grown. One kid is 30, the other one is 21. And she's been getting housing and food stamps the whole time. Meanwhile, guess what she's doing? Going to Thursday night, ladies' night. Going to Friday night, ladies' night. You know, hanging out all times of the night. But like I try to tell them, and I'm telling anybody that's on this channel, that stuff is about to end, guys. Did you hear what Trump said today? He said that this morning, that these democratic policies are going to get killed. They're going to get removed. That's what's happening. That's what he said today. He's going to eliminate specifically democratic policies, democratic programs. That's what he said today. He said it just like that. It kind of seemed like to me, like he's targeting all the Democrats. That's what it sounded like to me, guys. So that's why I'm saying it. I'm gonna say it again. Please, if you own these programs, you gotta try to find another way. Go to school. Go to school to be an electrician. Go to school to, find a trade and go to school and learn a skill. That way, when this stuff really hits the fan, hopefully you'll be in position to go make a earn, right? If somebody in the chat this morning was saying that they're on Social Security and barely making it. Guys, I hate to say it like this. If I was on Social Security and I was barely making it, barely making it shouldn't be an option for nobody, guys. It shouldn't be. If because that's a bad situation to be in. If you're depending on government assistance and you're depending on Social Security and it's barely enough to get by. Like, when it gets to that point, guys, we have to reevaluate. You have to reevaluate the whole financial situation. Like, that's why I asked the person this morning, do you drive, right? But they never did answer me back. If you was in the live this morning, it was somebody that came in there and said that they're on Social Security and that they're barely getting by. Like, sometimes you got to reevaluate yourself, guys, because a lot of these Social Security checks and stuff, it's on, especially if you're on disability. If you're on disability, then I know where I'm at in Texas, you can't go over amount of a threshold. If you go over the $2,000 a month, they're going to start cutting your check. And there's people that I know in real life, guys, really, that don't want to work a full-time job because they don't want their Social Security check to get cut. Like, man, if you go to work, you know what I'm saying? If you go to work, find a job that you can physically do. And a lot of these people, guys, a lot of these people that I know, that I see with my feet on the ground in real life, a lot of these people can really go to work if they really wanted to, guys. They're not like mentally retarded or just handicapped or nothing like that. They can walk, they can run. If you could go to the club on Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, if you can go to Thursday night, ladies' night, which is happening tonight, by the way, if you could go over there to Club 5150, you could go to work. You know what I'm saying? If you could drink Don Julio and smoke cigarettes every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you could go to work. But then my experience is when you start talking to the people like that, they get upset. But they don't understand and that things are going to hit the fan, guys. It really is. It's going to hit the fan. Because like in my situation, my cousin, one situation that I'm telling you about right now, her kids are grown, right? She's on housing, and the kids don't even live there. Basically, she got a free apartment. The apartment is supposed to be for her and the kids, right? But the kids are grown. One is 30 and one is 21. So she's been having housing for 5 straight years, not reporting it. Because what you're supposed to do, guys, is you supposed to let them know, hey, my kid is 18, such and such, this, like that, and then they'll adjust whatever you got going on, or maybe you have to pay the whole rent. But she never turned it in. So she's been collecting. She's been collecting housing, food stamps, all this longer time. I ain't gonna say Medicaid because I think that everybody should be able to get health care. But if you're able to work, go to work. And it's not like she's disabled. She could go to work, right? If she could go to Thursday night, ladies' night, which is tonight. Stock Sniper, why you keep saying that? Well, I'm emphasizing a point. If she could go to Thursday, women's free on Thursdays, and go to the club on Fridays and Saturdays, and then turn around and buy Don Julio and smoke cigarettes, then guess what, guys? She can go to work. That's a flaw in the system. See, that right there has, now, in my opinion, it's a lot of situations like that, guys. A lot. You know, and a lot of people listen to the OG because my feet is on the ground. A lot of people don't want to hear that. They don't, and they are so mentally brainwashed that they don't really understand. Just think about what my cousin could have did in these 5 years, right? Of getting free housing. She could have went to school. You know, no kids there. All the kids are gone. Basically, she been getting over on the system for 5 years and still counting to this day. And I told her, I say, you know, they got that Department of Government Efficiency. I hope you're getting prepared. I told her this at the end of last year. She don't think it's a joke. See, a lot of these people don't even pay attention to what's going on. So when you explain this type of stuff to a lot of people, it goes in one ear and out of the other, or they get an attitude, and then you don't hear from them for a while. And then when shit hit the fan, those are the people that call and ask you for help. Ain't that ironic, guys? Which I've been telling you and giving you, I've been helping you the whole time. See, one thing that I realized in my 52 years, somebody don't have to help you financially all the time. Sometimes just what they say is worth more than the money. Let me say it again. What I learned in my 52 years is that sometimes when you help people and you give them money, sometimes just conversation and telling them what to do, how to get by, how to make this move, how to make the right moves. Sometimes that's actually worth more than the money that they asking for. Then when it hit the fan, right, when your back is really against the wall, then you're trying to find a way out. Then you're talking bad about this. You're talking bad about that. You're talking bad about so-and-so and all these other things. So that's why I'm saying, today Donald Trump said the same thing again. And it seems like to me that he's directly attacking the Democratic policies and the stuff they put in place. And we already know what that is. And guess what, guys? Me personally, like I just said, in my own personal life, in my own personal situation, I know people that scamming it right now. I know people that scamming it right now. I know females that's on housing, that got a working guy staying there. And guess what? They're scamming the government. I know many of people right now. But the thing is this, what they not understand, you know what they do with their money? That's why I never like government assistance or none of that. Because once you get on that stuff, I ain't gonna say everybody, but majority of the people, once you get on that stuff, it's hard to get out of that mindset. You know what I'm saying? Now this other person that I know get free housing and got a dude living there, but the dude ain't earning, spending less, and making proper investments. So they can get off of that. The dude is earning and spending everything. We all know people like that. You know, I'm not talking about people that live like the Joneses. That's a totally different conversation. I'm talking about Pookie and Ray Rays. You know, the Pookie and Ray Rays that make money every day, but they got so many habits that they got to spend it. But then they live with the woman on housing. Yeah, that's another scam on the government. That's another scam on the government. So in a sense, I'm like, he is like calling out, the other side, but at the same time, most of the things that he say, I witnessed it, and I've been a witness to it in real life. So I'm like, golly, the people up there, the presidents and all these lawmakers, they all know what's going on at the bottom. They all know what's going on at the bottom. But I think this is the first time, and me personally, this is the first time I ever heard a sitting president talk about government waste and spending. Like what I'm just explaining right there, that is government waste and spending. And that's exactly what they're talking about. That's exactly what they're talking about, guys. And in my opinion, that's how he wanted to go. Just like sometimes, my grandpa used to say all the time, it's more than one way to skin a cat. That's when you put your own self in the trap, right? You put yourself right into the enemy's hands, right into the very people that don't really like you. You doing the things, playing right into their hand. That's what all this is, guys. Playing you, and then if you think about it, you really can't get mad at them because everybody knows somebody or multiple people that is getting over on the government right here today. Everybody knows a lot of people. So yeah, that's what he said today. So I'm saying it and I'm saying it again. And the reason why I'm really stressing it right now, because somebody in the chat this morning said that they are on Social Security and barely making it. Me, if I was on Social Security and barely making it, like, that's one of the worst positions to be in as far as living month to month, barely making it. I would really have to analyze my whole situation. In other words, I might have to go back to work, and sometimes we gotta have those real conversations and those real aha moments with ourselves. Because in 2025, it's not good. Actually, it's horrible to be living off Social Security and barely making it. Like, I couldn't imagine being on Social Security, waiting on that Social Security check to click on every month and knowing that that's barely enough to live off of. Like, at that point, you should reevaluate your life and be like, I need to find something. I need to find something that I can do to earn more income. And in some situations, because like I said, depending on what kind of Social Security check it is, if you go back to work, they might cut it. And in some situations, it might not be worth even getting a Social Security check. I'd rather go to work. I'd rather go to work. I'd rather go to work and make $4,000-5,000 a month, $6,000 or whatever the case may be. Because when you're working and you find something you love to do and you master it, what happens is you have unlimited ability to make an income. But just having the mindset of living off a set income, and that set income is barely covering monthly expenses. Like, that right there, guys, that's what causes health problems. That's what causes not just mental health, but physical health. Because one of the worst situations to be in is living month to month on a government check. Like some sometimes we got to look ourselves in the mirror. It's unlimited opportunities in 2025, right? And of course, some people, I'm not talking about the handicap, people that really, really can't do it. I'm talking about people that really can go to work. I'm talking about people that really can go to work. You can't say, if you in the club on Thursday night, ladies night, and you smoking cigarettes every single day, and you drinking Don Julio and vodka every other night, you can't sit here and say you can't find you a job somewhere to make up for that extra income. That's why I was asking that person this morning, if y'all was in the chat, I was asking them, do you drive, right? Because sometimes people be so worried about making it to month, sometimes people really don't be thinking things through, right? So if this person is on the live now or listening somewhere, if you drive, right, and you get a Social Security check, and you have the ability to drive, in other words, you pretty much are able-bodied, start a delivery business. The delivery business is the easiest thing to start. You got these companies that already have the customers. All you got to do is partner with the companies and deliver the stuff. It could be an extra $50 a day. It could be, see, it's when people say I'm living check to check, a month or month to month, guys, I really want to talk to those type of people because, in my opinion, in 2025, with everything that's going on and all these ways to make money, the 60 or 70% rate that they say that most Americans don't have $1,000 in their bank account. Most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. In my opinion, that is not an income problem. That's a spending problem. Because what I've witnessed from being here 52 years, most people got multiple habits. So that right there is really one of the main components on reason why people are paycheck to paycheck. But for the people that are like stuck, because a lot of times people be stuck. What do you mean, Stock Sniper? A lot of people are just controlled by the system that they have developed a generational curse of uh, laziness. Yeah. And laziness is one of the hardest things to conquer. Once you've been in generations of lazy people, of government dependent people, that is a hard thing to break. What do you mean by that, Stock Sniper? If my grandma never worked and been on housing and Medicaid and food stamps, and my mama was on Medicaid, welfare, and food stamps, and my sisters and my aunties, or whoever the case may be, and my brothers, all have been on this Medicare, welfare, food stamp, put me in a box mentality. Guess what's going to happen? 8 times out of 10, everything that comes up under that is going to fall in that same situation. Meaning that you're getting all these things, but you smoke cigarettes every single day. You got to have a Bud Light every single day. What else? You got to have a blunt every single day. What else? You got to go to the club, ladies' night, as we just got through talking about that. But then at the same time, generation is going through the same process. That right there, guys, that spirit of laziness is very, very difficult to break. It's what they call a generational curse. The spirit of laziness is very, very, it takes everything in you to break that spirit of laziness. Guess what else happened, guys, while I'm talking about the spirit of laziness? The spirit of laziness is so crucial. I'm going to tell a story about a 19-year-old able-bodied kid. He's around 21 right now. man, people was telling him, the adults in his circle, was telling him, you got to get a job. You got to get a job to take care of your kid. You got to get a job to do this. You got to get a job to do that. Guess what he did, guys? Just from the voice out of his parents' mouth, just from the voice of hearing his parents say, you got kids, man. You can't do them kids like that. You got to get out and get a job and make a living for yourself. You can't be living from pillar to pole. You can't sleep on my couch no more. You can't run over there to your best friend's house and go sleep on their couch no more, because that's wrong. You need to be going to work. Work at Jack in the Box. Work whatever. Go to school. Do something. Go make a earn. That way you could take care of the kids. Guess what he did, chat? He started crying. He started crying, guys. He started crying, chat. And guess what, chat? That right there, what I'm talking about, is happening more times than not. That's happening more times than not. That is a generational laziness curse that is put upon through generations of laziness, drunkenness, dope fiend, all the above, all wrapped up into one, with the touch of living off the government. That spirit of laziness, guys, is like a demon. It's one of the worst demon spirits to ever have, especially if you've been lazy for 10 years and your mama been lazy, your daddy lazy, your grandma lazy, your grandpa lazy. I hate to say it like that, but guess what, guys? It's happening right now in this United States of America, and it's going from generation to generation to generation, because guess what? This same youngster that I'm talking about, he got about 5 kids. And guess what? If he show his kids this way of living, guess what's going to happen? 8 times out of 10, they're going to follow in them same footsteps. Because guess what? How you conduct your household, that's what make your kids and grandkids think that that's how life's supposed to go. Then when they go somewhere where it's law and order, guess what? It's like a deer with when you driving and you got your headlights on and the deer come and the deer just can't see. It's like they like deers with a head when the deer's in front of the headlights. They automatically don't know nothing because they don't know how to function in normal society. That's how it works, guys. That's what's going on. And guess what happened this morning? I'm gonna say it again. He said this morning, and when I say he, I'm talking about Donald Trump. He said this morning, all that stuff is getting cut right now. And guess what? What people don't know is that the government shutdown played right into his hand to be able to cut the things that some people really need right now. That's why I'm saying, if you in that position, you got to start thinking. You got to look in the mirror and look at yourself and analyze and put you a plan together. Go to school, find something to do, a plumber, an electrician, a barber, what else? Learn how to work on a motorcycle, whatever the case may be. Truck driving. I don't know why I didn't say that first. Truck driving. Whatever the case may be. And get a skill. It's called a trade. Go to school. Be a nurse. Find something that you can get a skill with and go to work. That's how it works. That's how you break the spirit of laziness. And the first step of breaking the spirit of laziness is stop hanging around lazy people. You got to stop hanging around lazy people. In other words, you got to change your circle. Once you realize it in your head and you look in the mirror like what I'm talking about, once you look in that mirror and look at yourself and then you understand what you're talking about, guess what you do? Then you put your plan together. And you got to realize if you got all these people going to the club every single night, all these people smoking cigarettes and drinking every single day, all they want to do is party, party, party. Guess what you got to do? You got to cut them off. Listen to the OG. You got to cut them off. And you got to realize that's why I don't care. It's a lot of people that come into the chat that goes against what the president is talking about. But you got to pay attention to what's really going on. And you got to pay attention to what's happening. And guess what? Once you hear what he's saying, it's time to go look in the mirror and see what things you need to change in your life. Because guess what, guys? A lot of that stuff, a lot of that freeloading off the government, that shit about to come to an end, man. I said it last year, and I'm saying it again. In 2025, it's easy to make an earn. It's easy, guys. You got all this stuff. Everything is available. You know, where you could go out and make money and cut yourself from the government assistance that you really don't need at all. Now, if you really need it, I'm not talking about the people. I'm not talking to, y'all got to listen to what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the people, handicapped, people that really, really need it. I'm talking about able bodies. I'm talking about these single mothers that got 3 or 4 kids and got a man living there. I'm talking about those type of people, you know, that's scamming the government. You know, you got to get out of that mindset. You got to go out, find something you love to do, and you got to master it. And you got to go make an earn. You got to spend less. And you got to learn this stock market that I talk about every single day. Because it's a wealth transfer that's going on right now. I can't be worrying about no billionaires, guys. A lot of people talking about, yeah, the billionaires, he's looking out for his billionaire friends. I can't have that type of mindset, bro. I can't have the mindset of peeping somebody else's pockets. My grandpa told me that when I was a little bitty boy. Don't worry about what Joseph is making. Worry about what Stock Sniper is making. If Joseph is making a whole lot of money, then Stock Sniper need to find out what Joseph is doing, right? Stock Sniper has to find out what Joseph is doing to provide and build wealth for him and his family. It's levels to this shit. There's levels to it. And guess what? I want to be on the right side of the wealth transfer, no matter what level it is. If it's level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 100. You guess what? You got to get to level 1 to get to level 2. And then once you get to level 2, then you get to level 3, 4, 5, and so and so. That's what's called 25 summers. That's putting the work in for 25 summers. Not worrying about what Joseph is doing. Not worrying about what Billy is doing. Not worrying about how much money Donald Trump is putting in Elon Musk's pocket. I can't be worrying about that. Guess what? I got to be a part of the program. Yeah, I'm going in today. I got to be a part of the program. That's what I want to be. I want to be a part of the program, of the wealth transfer that'll benefit me and my family. That's how we got to look at it, guys. That's why I'm retired at 50 years old. That's why I'm retired. That's why I'm able to come out here and put the work in while everybody else is at work. Because I put the work in for 25 summers and I ain't worried about nobody else's pockets. I worry about my pockets. I worry about my family pockets. I worry about what I'm going to pass down to my kids and grandkids. And that's what we got to be focused on. Because guess what? They finna change this whole scene, guys. It's changing. And it's called the wealth transfer. So I hope somebody learned something. I did 4 miles running, another 1.5 miles walking. It's called the walk down. If you don't know, I'm training for a marathon. And I stay in my own lane. And I mind my own business. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I love and I appreciate y'all, everybody that's in the chat. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and hit the like button. And more importantly, share the video to somebody you know. You know somebody that's struggling right now. You know somebody that's on welfare. You know somebody that's on welfare, food stamps, and Medicaid, and is an able body that can't go to work, but they rather go to Thursday night, ladies' night tonight. Share the video and let them know the club gonna be there. Them cigarettes gonna be there. It's time to find something you love to do, master it, and get your bag up in 2025 and beyond. So with that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all. Earn, spend less, and invest. Y'all have a great day. I ain't going live tonight. I done did enough. Share the video. I love and I appreciate y'all. Get your bag up. I'm out.